All right, welcome back. Okay, I'm recording this as a podcast episode, and I'm also recording this for a couple other spaces. So, anyway, I have a wonderful guest on here today. Her name is Emily Wood, and she is a Facebook ads expert. So, she's going to tell us all about the things and kind of, I think, even demystify some of that scary unsure feelings that some of us have about, oh, do I need to do Facebook ads? Do I not need to do Facebook ads? That kind of thing. So, Emily, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and a little bit about yourself. So, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Laura. I don't know if I'd classify myself as an expert,
I'm
but
classifying you.
thank you. I certainly know a ton about Facebook and Instagram ads. I've been running them for probably more than 5 years now. Lots of learning, huge learning curve. Actually, a lot of my background is in healthcare as a dietitian. So definitely made a huge shift, but I love the digital space. It's so evolving and just
Mhm.
continual learning. So, so that's where I am now. But so that's basically what I do. And when we talk about Facebook ads, I think most people have that initial reaction that they're a little scared to try them or they're a big waste of money. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, running Facebook and Instagram ads, and I say Facebook and Instagram because they run simultaneously, but
Mhm.
running them can really, really transform your business and free up a lot of your time, which is something I think that we're probably all looking for, is a little more time to do more of those things inside and even outside of our business.
Yeah. So,
In
just out of
different directions.
curiosity, you were talking about how you were in the healthcare space as a dietitian, and you've moved over to working with Facebook in the digital space. What was that big compelling reason for you to kind of make that swap?
Because so I had my own nutrition business for a while and I was working with a coach and they just didn't really mention anything about Facebook ads. It was do live videos every day and post everywhere and try to find people in groups to join your group. And it was just a lot of things, a huge time commitment. And at the time I have 3 kids now and I had my 2 boys.
Mhm.
And I was still working part-time at the hospital. And I was just like, this is not sustainable. And Facebook ads were in the back of my mind, but I guess I was just waiting for this coach I was working with to say, hey, let's try Facebook ads.
Yeah.
And that never happened. So I just took the plunge myself. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start learning them. And I actually did start working with another coach who was really big into Facebook ads. But what I was being told was once again, very time consuming. Doing the market research, I mean, looking on Amazon and still trying to connect with people in groups and to find out all this information about my ideal client before I started running the ads. I was like, holy moly, even like this is a lot of work.
Mhm.
So that's when I really, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do this myself. I'm going to find out the information myself. And I just took a deep dive and started putting just looking around, looking for people to follow that I really connected with. And realizing after I started following these people that I felt were really, that I felt more connected with. I liked what they were putting out there, I guess.
Mhm.
They were showing me how it doesn't have to be super duper complicated. Yes, running Facebook ads to scale your business takes a lot of time and energy. However, there are ways to just start super duper simple and get your name out there and start growing at a slower speed.
Mhm.
Um, so I guess it was just that looking for, hey, I need something that's going to fit with my life as a busy mom. And that's kind of what drew me towards the Facebook ad route.
Yeah. I like that. I like how you really took that initiative to, I want to do it this way, or I feel like this is on the back of my mind of how I want to do it. And, like the coach you were talking about, I think they were really pushing you towards this, do this organic route where you really have a lot of contact with people. And I think a lot of us love to do that in the beginning, or
Mhm.
we really just think that's the way to go because it doesn't cost us anything to get inside of groups and stuff, but it does because it costs us our time. And if, like you, we don't have that time to commit to being online being in a lot of different places and posting all the time or really getting your name out there, you already knew that for yourself. And so I applaud you for searching for what you knew would fit for yourself and for your business. And, you know, I think it brought you to a really great place. So hopefully you could kind of help us understand what are some small ways that we could maybe start getting our name out there utilizing Facebook and Instagram ads. How could that benefit us? And even too, I want you to touch on how we don't have to go through that extensive process of researching everything about that ideal client. So I'm going to let you talk about that, expand on that for us.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I definitely recommend before you start running ads to really know your audience anyway. So you've already done all that market research when you were building your business. So
Mhm.
really knowing who it is that you want to get your brand and offers in front of, and also having an offer that already sells, already converts is super helpful. And for some reason, if you want to get a new offer out there with Facebook ads, you definitely want to start testing it to your warm audience. So people who already follow you, engage with you, know, like, and trust is the phrase that we like to use. Just because those people, as I mentioned, they already know, like, and trust you, and they're more apt to buy into this new thing. So if it's not converting with your warm audience, it's certainly not going to convert with a cold audience.
Very true.
But and it really depends. So it depends on where you are in your business. So let's say you're just getting started and you're like, I just want to grow quicker. I want to use ads to grow at a quicker pace. That's totally doable. You just have to keep in mind that it's going to take time. It's some people have in their mind, look, if I put money into Facebook ads and I'm not making six figures in a week, they're not working. I mean, that
Mhm.
is just such an old mindset. And even with ads, things take time. So if you're a newer business, you want to get started with ads, you have let's say you have just a real small budget. Maybe you just want to start with some awareness ads or some engagement ads just to get more people into your bubble. But with that said, I always recommend, if you can swing it, to start with lead ads. So lead ads are where you put out that free offer, whatever it is, your masterclass, your free download of some sort, your free challenge, and you collect people's email address and get them on your email list. If you can start there, if you have the budget, which, I mean, you can start with as little as you want, but ideally you want to start lead magnet ads. I want to say $10 is optimal, but sometimes between that 5 and 10 still works if you have a really great freebie that people love.
Mhm.
But it's just the best way, because that's how you're going to bring in the most high quality traffic. Then you have people on your email list that you can retarget for free.
Yeah.
Retargeting ads are great. I won't get into those right now. But a lot of times people don't have the budget for that. So, and that's fine. So get people on your email list. And email works great hand in hand with Facebook ads, because growing your email list organically could be a very slow, painful process, as I'm sure some of us can relate to.
Yeah.
So we're bringing people in through Facebook ads, and then on the back end, we're nurturing them through email, which has a super high return on investment. I think it's like $38 or something. Like, it's insane.
Mhm.
So I definitely recommend, if you can put like $8 per day into Facebook ads to run lead ads to grow your email list, regardless of where you're at. I don't care how small or big your business is, starting with lead ads to grow your email list is my number one recommendation. And where the budget comes in too is that if you have a larger budget, you can test multiple audiences at a time, which is really nice, which speeds the process up.
Mhm.
Facebook is all about testing. So going into the mindset, okay, this is going to take some time. I'm going to have to do some testing. And just understanding that from the beginning, I think, is really huge, a huge contributor to success. So as far as actually running the ads, I mean, I'm not really going to get into the nitty gritty with that. I mean, I have some free trainings that I can certainly share if you want to know exactly how I set up my ads from A to Z. But if you're thinking about ads, get your freebie in order, or maybe if you already have one, hopefully that converts, start running lead magnet ads, start playing around with those cold audiences. and yeah, grow your email list for sure.
Yeah. I think that's a really, really great approach because, like anything, if you've been in the business space, the entrepreneur space for a long enough time, you probably know that it takes several exposures for people to, kind of grasp onto something or say, like, yeah, okay, I think I want to try this out. And the same thing's going to be true for whether you're making posts about your product to your current friends list or if you're putting ads out there. Sometimes not everybody sees everything, but with the ads, you're hoping that a lot more people are seeing what you're putting out there that possibly are in your ideal market. And you want them to see it either enough times that they're like, I keep seeing this pop up. And then that one time they're going to finally decide, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to read more about it or watch the video or get the freebie or whatever it is. Because freebies are a really great way, like you said, to grow our email list. And an email list is probably one of the most vital things because I've done both. I have done email lists. I have one right now. I have a Facebook group. Of course, I have my Instagram and my Facebook account for my business. And with social media, you have like such a short window of getting things in front of people that it takes a lot of time to build up things organically. That if you can get people to that email list, you're getting direct exposure to them because they have to go in their email inbox and scan through and either click to open and read, click to delete or whatever, but you're getting right in front of them. Whereas with Instagram or Facebook, sometimes you might post something and you're thinking, I hope this person sees it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
unless they're scrolling today, maybe they don't see it. Or if they scroll tomorrow, they might happen to see it. It just depends on how the algorithm plays out. Um, but I know that the algorithm definitely does play more in your favor when you utilize those Facebook ads or Instagram ads. You're going to get in front of people because whether they're paying attention, I always pay attention to this. Like when I'm going through something and I see something interesting, and then I notice that little bitty tag that says sponsored underneath
hmm,
someone's like, oh, they're using an ad. I'm like, okay, like that's why that popped up. Cause sometimes I'd be like, this was really beneficial, or I just liked reading what they had put out there, or maybe I've even gone to several and watched the freebie little video that they had, or kind of gone through their next step process just out of curiosity. And I think
yeah.
that's really what you want to be able to do for people is just get them curious, get them aware, get them kind of hooked in there. Speaking of hooks, do you recommend putting kind of like something that really draws in people's attention when you create a Facebook ad?
So there's varying opinions about this. Does the headline, is it the headline the most important, or the image, or the copy?
Yeah.
Just from my experiences, I would say the image is what's going to catch people's attention first.
Hmm.
So you're going to want to put the most effort into your image. But with that said, it doesn't have to be like crazy, all these things going on. It could be super simple and still
Yeah.
eye-catching. So I tell people, as you're scrolling, like screenshot ads that you like, because you
Hmm.
use that for inspiration. So you're not, just thinking from scratch. I mean, Canva, most people have heard of Canva by now. Canva is awesome. They have all these pre-made templates that you can use. But even that gives you some restrictions. So I mean, I make the images myself. I would still eventually love to work with a graphic designer to create the ad images, because that's not my zone of genius. It's the copy, and it's putting the
Yeah.
ads together and the targeting. It's not creating the image. So I rely a lot on Canva right now, but like I said, future goal, I'm going to work with a graphic designer. but
Yeah.
um but so you want to catch the attention with that image, and then people's eyes should automatically go up to the copy, and you want to catch their attention right away with the copy and really entice them to hit that see more. So
Hmm.
the first 3 lines is what's going to show before they have to hit that see more. So you just don't want to start like rambling a story or something, because you're not going to catch people's attention. If you look at a lot of people's ads, it'll just be like one line, that's all that shows, and then there'll be a space, and then people have to hit that see more. Just because that's what's going to catch people's attention, like that one line hook. Oftentimes, throw an emoji in there is helpful. So It depends too. And with Facebook ads, like it always depends. Like different audiences respond different ways. If you are in a business where maybe, and this is just an example, I'm just throwing it out there, like you work with people that have gone through trauma or something, like your ad copy is going to probably be longer, a lot more heartfelt, as opposed to someone who's trying to sell just kind of like an informational digital course. It's probably going to be shorter and a little more like just, catchy with the benefits. And so it's going to depend too. So there's not like one way to make a Facebook ad.
Yeah.
It's not like a cookie cutter approach is what I like to say.
There's always variables, I think, with everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important when you know yourself and what it is that you do and how you
Mhm.
are going to help someone, but you also know like that ideal person. And I think for a lot of us who have got into business, I know for myself and a lot of people that I've met, it's typically like we're almost marketing to our past selves of like,
Mhm.
this is where I used to be, and I know what I went through and what I experienced. And so I'm talking to that person who's experiencing those same things. And when we have
Yeah.
that capability to do that, we can really tap into some good marketing on how would I have wanted to hear somebody explain this to me? How would I have wanted to learn? And we go back and we kind of give that to them, and then there's cases where we're marketing to maybe an audience we don't know very well. And I think that's where a lot of that market research comes in handy. And I want to kind of touch on that point where you're talking about what gets people's attention with the Facebook ad, with the Instagram ad. And I deal a lot more with like the visuals and things because I do the design work, and I enjoy studying that of like how the brain works, what grabs our attention, all this cool stuff. And so, we have a very narrow window of just a couple of seconds when people see something, what registers with them. So, like from what colors we use, what images we use, and things like that, it's going to trigger something for somebody. So knowing who your ideal audience is or who that person is that you're trying to speak to or trying to give this freebie to, or trying to let them know that you're here, that you could assist them with something, whatever it is that your business does, having that. And it's like digging. It's like digging to find something. Like, I'm going to kind of dig deep in this to discover what are some things that already correlate with this. And I know I'm kind of talking a little bit more in the branding and design side, but it's so important when you have someone that you can rely on, or if you can go through this process yourself. And I like to explain to people that it's what already comes to mind when you're thinking of something. So, like, for instance, I work with coaches who are moms. So, if you're trying to market to other moms out there that are going through struggles and burnout or whatever it is, it's like, okay, if you're in that situation, what's going to be an ideal picture to just grab you up? Is it going to be like a mom taking a spa day, or is it going to be a mom who looks really happy and with her family and she's not faking the happy? It's like, what are things that already resonate with you? What are things that you already correlate with? Oh, that looks better. That looks nice. That looks like something that I want. And that's going to be kind of that hook, that visual hook for people. And I like how you even talk about, it's like once you have that visual hook, you have that one or two line phrase that's your second hook, because everybody looks at things differently. Some people are really attracted to images. They're very visual people like me. Some people are very like, they love words. I have a friend who um she has her vision board, but there's no pictures. It's all words and phrases. She's like, that's my vision board. I have my main thing, and then I have my little pieces that spurt out from those of like life and fitness and all this different stuff. But she's like, but my main thing is I want to be healthy and strong. And it's like that for relationships, that for my life, that for my physical health, all these different things. She's like, it's just words. And I'm like, see, we're very different. You gravitate toward people saying the right things or reading the right things, and where I'm going to be like, you show me a picture, and if it hits with me, I'm like, I'm going to be curious, like,
Yeah.
what more can you tell me? I'm not gonna push see more and see a big long list of things and then be like, oh, okay, I don't think it was worth it. But Like, because that's how I approach things. It's very different. I'm very simple. If you can tell me what I need to know in a short bit, that catches me. So,
Yeah, and it's funny hearing you say this is that the cool thing about ads too is that I mean Facebook is super duper smart and they
mhm,
have all this AI stuff that they're implementing into Facebook ads. Um, but that's kind of another topic. But what happens is when people start responding to your post, and I'm necessarily I'm most talking about when you're running like a lead ad or a sales ad, because when you're running engagement awareness, they're just looking for people that are going to interact with your brand. They don't, they're not looking for that higher quality traffic, and they meaning Facebook. When you're running a lead ad, when you're running a sales ad, you're getting that higher quality traffic. And when you start to get people to opt into these kinds of ads, Facebook literally studies this person up and down and says, okay, I'm going to go find more people just like this.
mhm.
So people, yes, they're attracted to different things, but it's funny is like Facebook, they'll find that person that's most attracted to your ad, and it's going to find more people just like that. So that's kind of the cool thing. And this whole learning starts, and this gets stored into your account. So it's like, as you're running more offers, Facebook is going to know more and more and more. Okay, I know exactly who's going to opt into this thing.
Mhm.
So it's kind of cool like that. So it is beneficial to play around with things and let the ads run.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, make sure they're converting. Like, don't just let ads run and burn your money, but do some testing
Yeah.
if they're not converting.
Yeah. But I like
But
that
it's
you mentioned that. I like that you really mentioned how Facebook works, and the fact of if you're getting people that are engaging, or, kind of going through the next steps and converting with your ad, that it
Mhm.
remembers that. And it puts more, it's almost like Facebook kind of becomes your BFF at that point. Like, oh, these people like you. Let me go find more people who really love you or are going to like what you put out there. And
Yeah.
let me put your stuff in front of them. It's like, wow, that in itself is really cool because
I'm gonna move myself, Laura, because the sun, I'm disappearing. Go ahead.
that's okay. Uh, but yeah, I like that you mentioned that because that's probably one thing that some of us maybe don't know already. And it's one of those exciting tools of, if that's what Facebook does when I start running really good ads, then the more ads that I run later on, it's going to be showing them in front of these ideal people. I don't have to go and find them myself. I don't have to rely on, oh, I gotta attend all these networking chats and try to network and do all that, which is good. I'm not saying it's not good because I love doing that. I love just getting more of that personal relationship going. But if you're really wanting to expand and get more people into that closer network, into that closer community, like your email list or a Facebook group or whatever you've got going on, a program or something, um, knowing that Facebook can be your buddy when it comes to putting those things out there. And if you're doing it for a consistent amount of time, if you're doing it over the long term, which is kind of what we want to do in our business, we want to make it last for the long term. If you're utilizing it today and you're getting started, and then you utilize it again in a couple of months or a couple of weeks or whatever your time frame is, it's like just little drips here and there consistently, and it starts to learn who your ideal person is. That can be very beneficial as you put more things out there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I've heard this before and there, of course, there's people that have only used organic and have grown, and it is possible. But I hear from a lot too is that when you rely solely on organic for growth, you almost hit a ceiling. It's almost like, okay, I'm not sure how much higher I'm going to be able to go on organic alone.
Yeah.
And when you turn to ads, it literally puts your offer in front of a whole new pocket of people. So you're really able to expand beyond that ceiling when you start to invest in Facebook and Instagram ads.
Mhm.
So, it's just another thing that I've
And I
heard.
think too, it matters as to what type of business you want to grow.
Mhm.
That's the big thing. If you know your foundation, your core values, like how do I want to grow? Who do I want to reach? Like how do I want to operate my business? If you want to operate a business that you can really begin to scale and to grow and to get to a point where you can do a lot more automations and things like that, where you're not having to be one to one with everybody all the time. if you're selling a product, like, yes, I think doing ads and really being able to reach a wider audience is a fantastic way to go. If you're growing a business and you're thinking that I really just want to build deep relationships with individuals, most likely Facebook ads are not going to be for you, because you're going to suddenly take in too many people, and you can't. You can't maybe have this one-on-one deeper relationship with over 100 people, and coach over 100 people individually at one time. If
Yeah.
and that may be where Facebook ads is not something you want to get into, because I think it tends more to, if you're mass marketing, if you have something you're putting out there like a course or a resource or a program or something where you can put a lot of people into it, but it doesn't require a lot of your time to always be there, like 40 or 60 hours a week where you're just doing one-to-one conversations or something. Um, so I do believe there's a time and a place. So like you said, knowing your business,
Mhm.
knowing who your ideal people are, that changes the game. So it kind of tells you what strategies you need to use and which ones you don't need to use. Like actually have a workbook for branding that I am working on and wanting to put out there. And I'm feeling like this is something that, yes, I want to put out to my warm market, those that are closer to me, like in my Facebook group, on my email list and stuff, as something that, like, this could be a really great tool for them, or maybe it could be a really great tool for someone that they know. Now,
Mhm.
longevity, this would be something that I think would be worthy of doing Facebook ads for, because it would be a low ticket item that can help a lot of women get started with kind of mastering their marketing in business, of like, how do I go about this? What's the right strategy for me? It's a method of finding and piecing together the strategy for you and doing it in a very simple and easy way, so that you're not like, oh my goodness, I could grow my business 100 different ways. Which one do
Mhm.
I do? Because they're all great. Like, helps you kind of pick and pull what's going to work for you based on where you're at, what resources you have, where you're going. Um, so like for me, Facebook ads may be a great way to do that, because then I can market to a lot more women who this could be beneficial to. Whereas
Yeah.
if I just wanted to do, like, I want to do these big company logos, I would probably just want to market to a very small select audience
Mhm.
that are bigger companies, or bigger small business or something, or entrepreneurs who are doing really well and have been in business for a while. It's like, then I might want to have that more personalized, individualized relationship with someone, more of a referral marketing network going on. So just knowing what kind of business that you're going into, what you've got going on, what offer it is that you're marketing, will tell you, I think, which direction you need to go. So,
Yeah, and it's definitely a mix. When you start running Facebook ads, it doesn't mean that you can just stop all of your organic efforts. I mean, they
yeah.
work together, and nothing replaces that human to human interaction.
Yeah.
Even in this digital age, like I love having conversations with people still. Like, yes, I run Facebook ads, but I try to really connect with my audience through other ways. Specifically, I love email marketing. I
Mm,
love bringing people in through the Facebook ads, nurturing them on the back with email. That is my thing.
yeah.
I love doing videos, but I don't really have the time for it right now. So it's hard for me to do that. So you have to Facebook ads kind of allow you some extra time. So I'm hoping to
Mm.
do more video, but one other thing I was going to say, and I can't recall. See if I can
But
remember it. But
you're kind of talking like Facebook ads and things. They're even a gateway to get more people in for you to have those conversations with.
for sure.
The way for you to make more of those connections. So, like you said, growing businesses, whatever it is that we're doing, it's about making connections with people. I think Facebook ads is just, it's that tool to allow us to expand who we can reach. But like you said, we're still going to be in the business doing the things, making those actual physical connections. where Facebook ads are doing that digital. They're doing that introduction. They're getting someone who's like, oh, hey, they're going out and finding all the people that you don't know already, but Facebook knows them and is kind of introducing them to you. So it sees if they want to connect back with you. If they do, then it's now your responsibility to like, what can I put in front of them? How can I talk to them? How can I kind of build a relationship with them so that they have more that know, like, and trust factor. I build more rapport with them. So I really have enjoyed this conversation of just kind of putting into perspective, like when ads are great to use, when you may want to use them, how to really utilize them, like you said, for awareness, for leads, and knowing how you want to get your service or product out there is going to tell you kind of which way you need to go. And it's never a bad thing to invest in your business with ads. We invest in our business sometimes with mentors and coaches and stuff that are going to help us. We also need to invest in things that are going to help our business, and we're going to see some return on investment. There will always be things I think that we expense on for our business that maybe doesn't give us ROI. But, Facebook ads is a way that we can experiment with what's going to work well, what's not. And if you go into it with that mindset of, I'm trying something, this is an experiment. You might run an ad that does well, that reaches a lot of people. You might run one that doesn't. If you learn from that, just like you're going to learn from the fact of, well, if I do this with my business, or if I do this personally and this works out, great. If not, well, I've learned something. Now I learn how to do it better or do something differently. And we kind of grow and evolve from there. But that's kind of the fun thing too, is just trying new things, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and even having someone like you who can kind of help us through that process if it's something we've never done before. Like, what are the things I need to know? Like you talked about, the image, the copy, all those things. And I know there's a lot of back end stuff too that they're to kind of fumble
we could talk for hours.
Yeah, we won't get into that. We'll leave that to your expertise. And if anybody has questions of like, oh, hey, I want to do Facebook ads and I'm running into this issue. What's that? What's this? They can come to you for that. That's where your expertise lies. And we'll have that in the description, in the show notes, where they can get in touch with you in case they have questions, or if they're just like, I want Facebook ads run, but I don't want to do them.
Yeah.
They can come to you for that, for sure. That might be something I have to do in the future, because I think with this workbook, I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking about Facebook ads, just so that I can push that out there. And then from there, they can purchase that, get on the email list, and we'll grow the relationship after that. But at least this can be something that can be a tool they can go ahead and utilize, and we'll help them out. So
for sure. Sure.
So thank you so much, Emily, for joining me today and sharing your knowledge about this subject. And if there's anything you want to plug in, by all means, go for it.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that Facebook ads are an amazing tool for businesses, no matter what stage that you're at. You just have to make sure you have the right strategy down, and be willing to test and give it time.
Yeah, it takes time to grow, but it is time definitely well spent. We don't always want to do those things we think are failures or something that didn't work out, but by all means, they are learning. They're stepping stones to help us get to the next phase that we're supposed to be at. Like the phrase is fail faster. Like try the things that don't work and get those out of the way so you can do the things that do. If you make a Facebook ad and it like blows up and goes crazy, kudos to you. Like you found the magic formula and keep doing the same thing. So, anyway, I appreciate you being here, and I will put all the links where people can find you, get in touch with you, in the show notes, in the description. And yeah, thank you so much for doing this today.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. I'm sorry if I cut out there. My internet's a little wonky today, but yes, this was great. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, any questions, I'm always willing to do what I can. So
Awesome. Thanks.
all right, Laura.